Alright, we got a bad Cat Armin game. This looks unlosable. Okay, perfect. Huayong has outsped Rimuru. We just one-shot him and then win the game. Charles will see our push here. That's not a problem. I still think we're fast enough. Okay, wait. Uh-oh. I'm sure it's fine. This is fine. There's zero chance that he one-shots Huayong. Zero chance. Unfortunate. Hey everyone, it's Mace1370. Today we're going to do a bad Cat Armin RTA Showcase. Before we get into it though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, please see the video description below for a link to my Discord, where I have all of my character stats posted. So bad Cat Armin is the new ML4, and I would say she is not very good. Yeah, probably not very good. So I did the responsible thing, and I plus 15'd her, and then gave her some gear, and triple S'd her, so we could take her into RTA and see exactly how bad she is. Here's her build. I wanted her around 200 speed. I fribbled about 100 KE HP, and then I focused on hit points because I wanted her to have a lot of HP since it affects her damage scaling. You can see here her skills scale off of HP. And then I wanted just pretty much as much crit damage as I could fit while having around 100 KE HP. Her gear is pretty good, and I think it's like 420 gear score-ish for this build. So somewhere around 70 per piece. Some are a little higher, some are a little lower. Her skills, her S3 is a single target nuke, gives her speed buff, gives barrier to the rest of your team, and then obviously scales off HP like I mentioned. Her S2 is kind of like the unique aspect of her kit. She has a 40% chance when attacked to buff the foremost ally with increased critical hit damage, and then cause them to counterattack. And, you know, that's a little different. We haven't seen any hero that can like make other heroes counter before. Here is her S1. It becomes an AoE on her turn and then applies injury. So that's pretty much it for that one. And in terms of her artifact, I just threw Magic Mask on her because I didn't have anything better, but I think there are some alternative options. I chose this one just because, you know, it could give her like the crit damage buff. She already gives herself speed buff, but the rest of them are pretty decent for her, with attack probably being the worst. But everything else is good. But, you know, I think if you wanted to build her strictly like a bruiser like this, then Draco Plate would probably be the go-to. Another option that you could use would be this one here, Champion Trophy. I think this would be very effective because her S1 is AoE on her turn, so you have potential to get a lot of value via stuns. The problem, I think, is that there's just so many immunity buffers in this meta that, you know, like this guy, for example, but if they're on the enemy team, then you're going to have a hard time getting value off of Champion Trophy. So I think it's definitely a good choice, and maybe once I max it out I'll give it a shot, or I can just throw it on for some games after this and see how it goes. But yeah, so this is the build I chose. I kind of tried to focus on, you know, using her in a team to take advantage of her counter passive, and then giving her damage to, you know, be able to nuke something like when it was actually her turn. So as you can see from the intro, I lost that game and many others on the path to record some fun wins, but we got there in the end, so let's go ahead and take a look. For this game, I decided to pre-ban Ran. I was trying to figure out how to, you know, build a team that works with bad Cat Armin, but also draft in a way that incentivizes my opponent to take AoE heroes. And my thought was like, oh, I'll just take some like tanky stuff and tank down like with a cleanser, and then I can pick bad Cat Armin plus a few, you know, key counter units at the end, and maybe we can make a draft work that way. He takes Politis first, so that to me says he's cleaving with a Bellion pre-ban. I'm just going to go with my plan to tank down here, and I'm kind of inviting him to cleave me, you know, with these two slow tanky picks. So let's see if he takes the bait. The plan here then being to take bad Cat Armin, plus I could take Archdemon Mercedes. Bellion would be a great pick as well, but she's pre-banned. Rem would be another one. You know, and you pair those with bad Cat Armin, they're typically going to have to ban one of the annoying counter units, probably like Rem or something like that. So he indeed does go the cleaver out here with Charles and Flan. So we can take bad Cat Armin. And I guess I'll just take Archdemon Shadow here. She probably has like less direct counters than Rem does. I don't want him to pick Violet because I don't want to have to auto-ban Violet. Okay, he takes Vildred with the new skin. I think the new skin is like kind of cool looking, but the smile bothers me. It looks a little creepy. His like lip is teeny or something. They needed to make the smile bigger, I think. It looks odd now. He last picks Operator Cigarette, so that one I think I have to ban because I have Fallen Cecilia. So we'll take Rem here. So we have our two, potential counter units to pair with Bad Cat Armin. And obviously you don't have to pick like a unit on counter set. It would just increase the chance of that happening. And in my testing I never saw a unit counter twice, so I don't know for certain. I don't know if you can get like double counter. Like if the unit counters and then Armin also triggers the counter. I'm not sure exactly how that works, or if it's just adding like 40% to their counter attack chance. But either way, I wanted units that got a lot of value out of countering, and I figured that Archdemon Mercedes definitely has that because she CR boosts herself, and then she can trigger her S2. Rem can defense break. She has Sigurd size, so she can heal back up. A lot of potential value there. Okay, so he goes for the defense break on Cowrick and he gets it, which is fine. I don't think Cowrick is really super important in this matchup. Obviously, attack buff is nice, but not 100% critical. So here comes Charles with attack and crit damage buff. So this will do a good chunk of damage. Okay, so we get the counter attack there. Thank you, Bad Cat. Into the S2. So this is really nice. We get the hit down on the rest of the team. He does hit Mercedes, but she counters again. And unfortunately she doesn't seal. That would have been so clutch if she sealed there and just wiped Vildred off, but instead she doesn't, and so he gets another S3. So that's a little awkward. So take a lot of damage here and proc the Charles, but we counter again, and we get the S2 proc. Okay, very nice. And that crit damage buff really, pushing a lot of damage out from Amaro. He can go with Politis here, but he doesn't really have the staying power to finish this off. And you can see our team encounters again. A great, fair, and balanced unit. We can S3 with Cowrick, but there's really not much point the match is over. Okay, that's game. Another idea I had to, get a Bad Cat Armin draft is to pre-ban Bellion and then first pick Spectre Tenebria. The idea here is that this baits the opponent into taking AoE heroes, and then you can respond with a Bad Cat Armin pick. So I do that. I take Spectre. The opponent has pre-banned Aravi, which is fine. That's like a single target DPS that I wouldn't really want to fight with Bad Cat Armin, so that works out. He takes Rimuru and then Designer Lilibet. So Designer Lilibet is an AoE unit, I suppose. I'm going to take Cowrick here so I don't get defense broken by Rimuru. I could take FCC. I think FCC is very good against Designer Lilibet. She doesn't put out that much damage. I could take AOL here with the assumption of taking Bad Cat Armin later, and that way if Designer Lilibet wants to cleanse, then she kind of has to trigger Bad Cat, or risk triggering Bad Cat, I guess. Or I guess I just take Bad Cat here and then we'll go from there. Okay, so he takes Solitaria. That's another unit that'll potentially trigger Bad Cat. And then he takes ML Charles. I guess it's preseason, so everybody wants to play with ML Charles. He's a fun unit, but he's hard to use when everybody tryhards, right? So we can take Rowana here. I think Rowana is really good against the opponent's team. She triggers off of Solitaria's S1, and then I guess also off of Rimuru's S2, right? And then we take Archdemon Mercedes as, just another potential unit to have synergy with Bad Cat. Ideally, I would like to ban the Rimuru because he's the nuke right now. He takes Operator Sigrid, and I think we have to ban that one. You know, that's AoE attack buff that pushes us back. It also, you know, could cause problems with Bad Cat Armin's barrier. And, you know, that plus Charles might be too much damage for Stenny, and she might just go down because we don't have mitigation. So I think we have to ban out one of those. The opponent still has plenty of AoE to target Bad Cat, so I think we're okay there. Alright, so here comes Charles. I put Stenny in the front here. She's on lifesteal, so ideally she gets counters and then heals back up. I think that would be really cool. That didn't happen, so that's unfortunate. Here goes Solitaria. I guess she's pushing back ML Cowrick to try to prevent him from getting his S3 off. So I don't know if he tries to kill Cowrick or Rowana here. I guess Rowana's probably a big problem for him if he can't kill my stuff in the opener, since Solitaria is just going to start healing my team. So yeah, he goes on Rowana. That's probably the right choice. Chunks her down quite a bit. That almost kills her. And looks like Dilibit is going to finish that job. Stenny lives though. Still no counter, so that's kind of sad. We had two 40% chances there to get it. He's run out of reach for her, which is nice. Okay, so he goes into Cowrick here. We can S3, I guess. We don't have to worry about Rimuru triggering on Spectre because Bad Cat is going to trigger him first. Magic Mask giving us defense buff. That's kind of nice. Although I would prefer not to give that to the enemy team because we need to finish them off. Okay, here we go. S3, big damage. But he's on proof, and that was like 9.6k, so that's pretty decent. So there goes the S2. Looks like he didn't really steal much. I guess he got speed buff on? Yeah, he got speed buff. Okay, so we can kill Rimuru here with Spectre, heal up a bit. I assume he goes on Mediator Cowrick here to finish him off. Although I guess we have AoE with Bad Cat, he might worry about us getting Solitaria out. He does go on Bad Cat. We get the counter, we get the crit damage buff, and that kills ML Charles. That's pretty huge. Now we can... Oh, that's game. Okay, so I go with a Ran pre-ban for this game. The opponent has banned out Mediator Cowrick. I think, yeah, I just decided to take Conqueror Lilius here and see, you know, maybe I can fit her into one of these drafts. I think she could be good with Conqueror Lilius for a couple reasons. If you build Bad Cat Armin with higher HP, and then you use the redirect provoke from Lilius, they then attack into your Bad Cat, right? If she's the highest HP, which could then potentially trigger the counterattack. So this is huge value here. The opponent takes Hwyong and Piera. So I guess I haven't done a Hwyong video yet. She kind of came out at the end of the season, and then I didn't really get to use her because I climbed the day before last, but I played more with her now, and she's one of these units, you know, that is built at 240 speed, but can one-shot everything, right? So kind of the only real response that you can have to that is to cleave someone, or go faster than them, right? You go over the top, because otherwise you give Hwyong a turn, and then one of your units dies, and that's usually pretty crippling. So you can thank design decisions like that for turning everything into a cleave meta. I take Spectre Tenebria. She hides from Hwyong. She's also AoE bait for Bad Cat. And then I take AOL. I guess this is a potential response to Hwyong if you have a fastish AOL. She'll probably outspeed, and when Mediator Cowrick is banned, like, that's an option, right? You can silence her. So the opponent takes Green Selene, I guess in response to both Lilius and AOL. I take Politis. I think Rimuru would also be okay here. You know, he can respond to Selene being triggered, but I decided to take Politis. She shuts down Amelia pretty well. You know, so if Amelia uses her skills, then I'm going to get value there. And then I take Bad Cat. So looking at my draft, I do kind of lack damage if he bans Stenny. But the draft is otherwise pretty annoying for him, right? Because we have AOL, which can really shut him down. We have Politis, which can... So I feel like I have high-value bans here. And he probably leaves the Stenny, and he goes to the Lilius, which is interesting. I guess he was afraid I was going to ban Piera and then get the opener on him. I don't think Tempest Surin was a very good choice. I guess it's Reach for Spectre. But I have Politis, and Politis is generally very strong into Tempest Surin. And he's giving me a cry emoji, I guess because my AOL outsped his Hwyong, maybe? I don't know. Okay, we get a counterattack there from Bad Cat. That's pretty sick. So that's value. He skill 3s with Piera, so this is going to trigger Politis. We have a ton of souls. Okie doke, so Politis goes. We can burn and go into the Tempest Surin.
The situation is critical.
And not quite kill. I think this Super Aureus from Piera is doing a lot of work here. Is it really going to take 4 hits with that thing to kill her? That doesn't seem right. I guess it is. That's kind of nuts. Okay, so Tempest Surin can go, but she has hit down, so not the worst. Does hit on Stenny, which is pretty bad, but we get the counterattack, which is sick. So that's really nice. We can now skill 3 with AOL. We land the crucial silences on Amelia and Hwyong, so that's what we needed. Okay, Hwyong can go here, but that shouldn't matter too much. I don't think S1 here kills anything. Nope, it does not. Okay, so now we get Hwyong here. She's silenced, so we don't get to bust out the S3, but I think we'd probably just S1 anyways, just to, you know, get Tempest Surin out. So we break Tempest Surin out with that AoE, and now we can Soul Burn Spectre Tenebrae here for pretty much the win, right? That takes out Tempest Surin. Now we can take out Hwyong.
You want to try me?
And that should be game. So yeah, Bad Cat Armin, definitely a fun hero. I enjoyed playing her a lot. She's just not, unfortunately, very usable in the meta, but still fun. That's it for now. Later.